This week I'm working on a large wholesale order, and I thought there might be some helpful silver clay finishing tips in here. In addition to patience and a steady hand, making multiples of one item really requires figuring out your own best methods for efficiency. Here are a few of mine. One of my goals is to bring each piece as close to a polished state as I can before firing so I can reclaim the silver dust. Among my favorite tools for this are my X-Acto, carefully, always pushing away from my fingers, or my 3M sanding pads, and sometimes a file to achieve backs that are as smooth as possible. This isn't the simplest piece, so here I'm checking all those little leg corners for sharpness and sanding them down where necessary. Any thin pieces are incredibly fragile in the unfired state, so despite what it ever looks like, I'm not really applying pressure. Always use a clean brush to remove dust at the end. To check your progress, you can burnish surfaces by applying gentle pressure and understand the risk of breakage at this point is high. The raised surface will take a polish and the recesses won't, showing you inconsistencies. The mottled polish here on the neck showed me that this could be a little smoother, and after a scrape and reburnish, you can see the polish is more consistent, and I'm happy with that. Another thing I sometimes see as I'm checking pieces over are tiny holes left by liquid evaporating from the silver paste used to make joints. If I see them, they just need to be filled. Not only would that still look like a hole after firing, but it will make for a slightly weaker joint. And here on the back, I happen to spot a tiny indent, so I'm spreading my paste down to fill it. I carry on reviewing them all and fixing anything that would be harder to correct after it was fired. I'm also making elephants, and you can see that this one's a little rough right now because I used some reclaimed clay for the base, so it's going to need a little more attention. I am carefully scraping to smooth this joint, and then I'm going to go over it with fresh silver paste, so I'm kind of covering any roughness with clay that I know to be free of lumps right out of the jar. Here's an indentation that needs to be filled, so again, I'm doing that with silver paste. It's a lot of check and repeat. And of course, you can do this to whatever finishing level you're comfortable with. Once fired, they are no longer fragile. You can see the back is a bit rough. So the first step I do is to lay down a soft cloth to protect both the jewelry and the desktop, and then use my agate burnisher to smooth some of that texture. This optional step can be part of your finishing plan if you're doing it all by hand, or I find I get a better polish with the rotary tool if I do this first. You can see here that this leg warped a bit in firing, so while the piece is fully supported, I'm going to press firmly with a flat edge to straighten it. So I have done this many. I have a few more to finish, and you can see the size difference between the fired on the left and the not fired on the right. My next step is putting fired pieces into the tumbler, the steel shot, and after that, it looks like this. I'm going to polish with my silicone wheel polishers, black to blue, and finally pink. And now they all look nearly identical, but of course have tiny variations because they are handmade, and now they're ready to be packaged before heading out into the world. And if you have any questions about the tools used in this video, I have a linked resource page.